Welcome back to It Was Never a Phase Cards. My name is TJ, and in today's video, we have a pretty fun market update for you guys. We're going to start off, obviously, with the Charizard from 151. We have a little bit of an update. This card has hit an interesting point. And yes, I'm not at home right now. I am traveling right now, so the audio might be a little different. Things might be a little off, but bear with me. The grind doesn't stop. We got to keep pushing out these updates. So we got Charizard SIR number 199 from 151 right here. And if we zoom out right here, we have seen this card grow about 57% in the past 3 months, and it just hit an interesting point, cracking that $300 mark. You can see the most recent sale right here at 300, and if you zoom out, you can see the previous all-time high back in late February, early March was $290. So we finally eclipsed that. And it'll be interesting to keep an eye on this card and see just how high it can go. We saw recently with the Bubble Mew, like what that's been doing, and we will be touching on the Bubble Mew in this video as well. There's a little bit of an update on that card. But the Charizard right here from 151, there's so much product from 151 that's hitting insane, crazy new highs. Whether it's like just ETBs, Pokemon Center ETBs, UPCs, no matter what 151 product you look at, it's like all-time high, all-time high. And now we're finally seeing that Charizard get back up to this point. It's been a while. It was falling off for months and months, and it did go as low as $188, and now it's up to $300. And you can see right here, a few more sales, and we might be looking at even potentially higher, around $326, potentially on the bottom of the first page. So something to keep an eye on. But that's not the most excited card about 151 that I have right now. It's actually the Zapdos, which we touched on recently, and it's starting to see even more growth. So this is the special illustration rare Zapdos number 202, and in the past 3 months, this card's up 95%, cracking that $90 mark, seeing absolutely massive gains, and this is an easy one. You look at that 1 year chart, and obviously we're at an all-time high. We're blowing past any sort of previous highs that we've seen for this card. I think this is one of the best looking cards in 151. You got all three legendary birds. I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again in the future, but Zapdos from 151 looking really good right now. Starting to see the supply on this card dry up a little bit. You can see currently around 69 copies currently available on TCG Player. It'll be interesting to see maybe in another month how many are listed on here. You can see, look at this past month, 341 copies have sold on TCG Player, and there's only 69 currently available. So we could see a potential big uptick in Zapdos as well, continuing to move up. So between Charizard and Zapdos, it'll be something to keep an eye on. A lot of listings right now in the $90 range, so definitely some resistance there. We'll have to keep an eye on this card. But nice to see some more movement from 151. And then we do have to talk about the Bubble Mew again real quick, just because it's starting to plateau a little bit, which, obviously still looking insane. 3 month chart, 139%. 3 months ago, this card was under 300, and now we're seeing it, sell for around 700, like 690 right here. Market listed at 690, and currently the lowest listed are a little bit down from that in the $640 range. And obviously, when a card like has this crazy explosive growth, it's going to fall off. But right now, it's not really falling off all that much. It's really holding up really well. People are going crazy for this card, so another one just to keep a really good eye on. Obviously, it's like so much further past this previous all-time high, and we thought at the time, being over $400, that was a very big all-time high, and it fell off quite a bit from that, dipping down below under 300, but now just absolutely blowing that out of the water, making that look like that was an absolute steal of a pickup if you had bought at this previous high of $421. And the 1 year low if you want to kick yourself in the $90 for the Bubble Mew. So absolutely crazy gains there. And then next up we have one of my favorite sets to talk about, Destined Rivals. And, this set's slowly chugging up the booster box right now. You can see, 3 months ago, $240. It previously hit this high of around $315, and then it kind of came down to around low 300s. And then after that, so like mid-August, this box has been steadily climbing. Currently around 350, 360 is what we're currently seeing. But something that's interesting is the listed median price is around $400. So people are starting to list this box a little higher, starting to get a little bit scarcer. You can see 234 boxes currently available on TCG Player. So another really fascinating one is Destined Rivals moving forward. We'll see if it can crack that $400 mark, maybe be the second booster box to do that after Paldean evolved. So that's currently what we're looking at. Obviously, all-time high as far as booster boxes go right here. 357, actually surpassing the pre-release high price of 350. So official all-time high on TCG Player for Destined Rivals. And then real quickly, I wanted to just do a little bit of an update on Team Rocket's Mewtwo. I know we've touched on it recently, but we're seeing this card see a bit of a bounce back right now. You can see the most recent sale getting up into that $400 range again, or $399, and it's up around 8% in just the past few months here, or past month rather. So starting to see this one go back up, and this is what I was kind of worried about as somebody who needs this card for, their master set. Only 20 copies currently available on TCG Player, and lowest listeds are now 400 is like the lowest. And check this out. We only have one sale at 400, two sales at 400, and then one at 425, and then we're up to $500 plus potentially. Then we're at 550 and up, getting closer to 600. So this is another one to keep an important eye on. The supply is getting really low, and as booster boxes continue to get more expensive, people are probably going to be opening this less. So we're going to see less new, raw copies hitting the market. So another one just to keep an interesting eye on is that Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Definitely has some potential big explosions if we see these sales continue at this rate. So keep that on your radar as well, and I'll keep you guys updated. Make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on, because I do post every single day, so you guys can stay up to date on the Pokemon market. Next up, we have Paldean Fates. Paldean Fates, we talked about the Bubble Mew, obviously, already, but we got to talk about the ETBs. This is a Pokemon Center ETB. It's been absolutely just ripping through these charts right here. You can see in the past 3 months, 125% growth just in the past 3 months alone. But something like we've talked about recently with some of the other stuff is the listed median price. It's been a great indicator recently. We talked about this with the Sword and Shield boxes the other day. This is a really great indicator of kind of where things are headed. And we're at 500 right now, but listed medians at $750. So it's really just a matter of time until we see Paldean Fates Pokemon Center ETBs at $750. Currently, lowest listeds, are in that $500 range, but it's not that many sales until we're getting closer to that $600 range, and then things will just continue to move up. Obviously, this is, an all-time high. You zoom out right here, 657%, $67 for a Pokemon Center ETB for Paldean Fates just 1 year ago. And lastly, we talked about the Charizard from this set recently, but we got to talk about the Gardevoir, and this is one where I was saying if the Bubble Mew's so high, the Charizard's got to go up, right? Charizard's got to move up, and the Gardevoir have to move up. Things are getting too expensive for it to not happen, and we're starting to see that happen right here. 56% gain just in the past month, from around $80 up to over $124, kind of around $125 right now for Gardevoir number 233. And if we zoom out on the 1 year chart, you can see the previous high was in late January around $95, and then kind of really cooled off into the 70s. We've definitely blown way past that at $125, and the 1 year low, $38 on this Gardevoir. And starting to see low supply, like a lot of these other chase cards, only 29 copies currently listed. So it's another one that's probably going to continue to rise. And let's see what the lowest listeds are. Yeah, I mean, even right now, lowest listeds are above the most recent sales, $139 and up. Probably going to be in the $150 range here shortly. That's just the way things have been moving. They go so quickly. So Gardevoir on its way up as well. Then next up, lastly, I think it's the last card from Paldean Fates. Just worth mentioning is the shiny Pikachu here. 57% gain just in the past month alone, going from around $25 up to around 40-ish is kind of what we've been seeing for the shiny Pikachu. So that's pretty big. If you zoom out, though, for this card, it's not at its 1 year high. It previously had been as high as $50 in late February. So that would be interesting if it could get back to that point. Obviously, this set definitely has it in it to get this card back up to that point. If it's going to happen, it may take a little bit longer, but just another thing to keep an eye on. Anytime we can get back to a previous all-time high and eclipse that, it'll definitely be worth noting. Currently lowest listed, there's 135 is currently lowest listed, so it looks like this one might be coming down a little bit. So, maybe this one hitting a little bit of resistance for the shiny Pikachu there. And then there are some promos that we need to talk about. And we've talked about Lucario, I think, somewhat recently, but we're continuing to see some good movement on the Lucario from that Crown Zenith ETB. 3 month charts looking pretty crazy. 252% gain. Back here, this was a $3.73 card 3 months ago. Had a run up right here late June to $10. Came back down to around 7, and now we're seeing as high as $13. And this one's interesting because we're seeing it as high as 13, like pretty big percentage gains, but there's still 599 copies currently listed on TCG Player. So it's not a supply issue per se, but a lot of the market is seeing kind of where things are going, that promos are going up as well. So people are holding on to these cards. And currently lowest listeds are a little bit higher. It's all $14 and up currently on the Lucario. So that's another one to keep an eye on. A little more long term. You can see, look at 1,156% in the past year. A year ago, this was a $1 promo. Now we're seeing $13 and $14 sales on the Lucario. So that's crazy to think of how something can go from being so common and just like, a dollar, $2, some cards even less. Seeing these just massive percentage gains. So that's the Lucario V Star, the promo there, and then we have some. We talked about some celebration stuff recently, and I think it was we talked about the Lance's Charizard box, but here's the promo, and this one's starting to look pretty good. A lot of celebration stuff going pretty big, 75% gain, 75% just in the past 1 month. That's pretty big. Once again, this promo was pretty cheap and affordable, so it's not going to be your big like dollar mover. But percentage wise, looking really good. 1 month low of just around $5 now, pretty much doubling to around 10. And if you zoom out right here, you want to see something crazy, 460 plus percent. But the 1 year low being $1.70. It's a pretty decent looking promo with the stamp there. So those Lance's Charizard definitely going up big there. And then next up, similarly, released around the same time. You got that Dark Sylveon V. You got the Celebration stamp on here, 25th anniversary. This one isn't up quite as much in the past month, around 12%. But if you zoom out right here, it is looking pretty good, over 1,000% gain. A year ago, this was a sub $1 card. So that's one of those ones where it's kind of wild to see percentage wise, 80 cents to around $8 or $9. So it's just a teensy bit down from its all time high of around 9. It's high 8s right now. So that's another one that's moving up, the Dark Sylveon V. Obviously, Celebration's going crazy. Here's another Celebrations promo right here. We have the Light Toxtricity and 190% growth just in the past month alone. This one shot up from around $3.50 up to almost 10. Currently, lowest listeds are pretty much right in there, maybe high 9s, low 10s, kind of what we're currently seeing for the Light Toxtricity. I like this card with the Odyshes. This is a fun looking card, so nice to see. It is nice to see some of these cards moving up. And here's 2,219%. A year ago, 42-cent card. So pretty massive gains right there on the Light Toxtricity number 137 right there. If you want to look it up for yourself, there's the number. So that one's a little interesting. And then last thing we need to talk about real quick is Twilight Masquerade. Just a quick little thing on it. Twilight Masquerade booster boxes just passed the $300 mark. So they were on a little bit of a decline recently, but still up 17% in the past 3 months. Went from 250, went as high as 285, and then it cooled down, back down to around 270. And now we're seeing it just now eclipse that $300 mark, and it's not really done right now. It's going to continue to move. Listed median price is $345. It's going to continue to uptick. Twilight Masquerade was one of those earlier sets that had the Greninja that was pulling some pretty big numbers. It finally started to show some life for the Scarlet and Violet era with that Greninja specifically, and then like Surging Sparks really kind of like helped sweep that whole thing into movement there. So Twilight Masquerade at an all-time high. You zoom out right here. A year ago, could have got this for under MSRP for quite a while, $143. New MSRP, around 160. So that was a bargain looking back, 110% on the year, like I mentioned. So some big gains for Twilight. And then here's the Greninja. The Greninja is not at its all-time high, but it is seeing a bounce back as well. Up almost 20% just in the past month alone, from around $273 up to 327 currently. This is another one of those low supply, 22 copies on TCG Player for near mint. And if we scroll down right here, lowest listed right now are around 350, which is above the current market price. And then just a handful of sales until this card is potentially in the $400 range, and then maybe even in the $500 range. I don't know if that's necessarily in this card's future, but that's what we're seeing for just the first handful of listings on TCG Player. And then if you want to see kind of where the card was at before, we can zoom out right here. It's up 16% on the year still. With it's kind of had a wild fluctuation. It started going up after release pretty quickly, and it peaked around February over 400, around $410, and then it fell off pretty hard, all the way down to around 270. So it's been falling for months and months now, and now it's finally just starting to rebound. So we'll see if it can. It'll be another interesting point to see if it can get back and surpass the $400 mark. That would be honestly kind of wild. So that's currently what we're seeing for this little bit of a market update for you guys. And like I mentioned before, obviously I'm traveling. Things have been a little chaotic today. We had the fake Pokemon Center drop that we thought looked like it was going to happen for the Phantasmal Flames. I'm at Disneyland, so I'm in line for rides, just trying to keep my phone open, going like into soaring over California or soaring over the world, and then I lose service and I lose my spot in the queue. But then we find out that the queue didn't matter today, so it was kind of one of those crazy hectic days where I was obviously trying to have fun, trying to enjoy my vacation, but trying to snag those Phantasmal Flames, pre-orders. So that might be and tomorrow I'm going to be at Disneyland proper, so I might be doing the same thing at Disneyland. So it's been kind of interesting. My mobile success hasn't really been very good in the past, so usually PC is kind of where I score, so that's another interesting thing. But anyways, I'm out there in the trenches with you guys. I'm hoping actually that it gets delayed to like Thursday later this week, so I could be home and have a little less stressful time with the Phantasmal Flames. But we'll see. But that's all I have for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.